Hi everybody. In this tutorial we're going to take a look at Google Drive, what it is and why it can be very beneficial in education. This is part of the suite of tools that I see used a lot in education, and maybe you guys have already seen that. So we're going to jump in and spend a little time understanding the tool so that you know how to get around and again the benefits of it. So you might wonder why I'm actually in Gmail here. There are two ways you can get to Google Drive. Actually, I'm sure there's more, but here are the two most obvious ways. The first is once you log on to your Gmail account, you will be able to obviously see your email, but over in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a grid of 9 dots. If you click on that grid, you're going to see one of the options is for Google Drive. You can click on there to be taken to Google Drive. The other way to get there is, which is where I am now, is to literally type in drive.google.com and sign in from there. Either way, you'll be taken to this Google Drive space. Okay, now once you're here, you're going to see yours may be completely blank if you have not logged in to Google Drive before. As a side note, obviously, you're going to need to make sure you have a Gmail account in order to do this. So make sure, of course, you've done that first before you're jumping into this piece. And also as a side note, it's most helpful if you guys have this up next to you while you are watching the tutorial. So what I mean is participate in the tutorial while you're watching it. It will help you to learn the content a little bit better. All right, so once you're here, again, you may see nothing, but I use my Google Drive all the time, so I see quite a few things. So don't be alarmed if this is blank for you after this assignment. It will not be blank anymore. So let me show you what we're looking at here. This top area is called Quick Access. It's obviously the things that I have most recently used. So that's going to be your quickest way to access things. All of your materials are down here at the bottom, anything you've already saved. Over here on the left, you're going to see quite a few buttons here. The first at the top being New. If you click on that, you're going to see several things, including you can add a new folder, you can add a new file, meaning something you did not create in Google Drive but want to store and save and share it from here. A whole folder you can upload, and then the Google pieces themselves, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and then under the More, there's several things here, but one that we're going to focus on this week is Google Forms. So we will spend a little bit of time there, but know that we've got lots of options here of things we can add and a place to add even more apps to it. Okay, the other options you're seeing over here on the left, My Drive is where we are right now. Shared with me means all the items that others have chosen to share with you. And we'll get into sharing a little bit later. That's a huge piece of this. It's not just about saving items. It's about sharing and collaborating with other people. So sharing to others is a giant advantage to Google Drive. So anything that's been shared with you will be under here. Recent is what it sounds like, things that you've recently opened and looked at. Starred, you can star items, and it's just a way of almost putting a little flag on it to say, I want to come back to that. So just more of a visual for you to know that it's something you want to come back to, kind of like how you can star emails. Trash is what it sounds like, and so on. So these are the items off to the left, and we'll spend a little time looking at a few more of those options as we move forward. A couple other things to know. You can, over here on the upper right, you can choose to look at your Google Drive through Grid View, which is this, more like thumbnails, or List View. So know that you've got some options on how you want to view your items. All right, so once you click on an item, and again, you may not have anything here yet, but I want to still show you this. If you click on an item, now you see some additional options pop up on the right here. The first option here is to get a shareable link. Again, the power behind any of these items is that they can be shared with others. This is an option where you can choose who you're sharing it with, so you can identify specific people. This is a preview option, so you can see what this item is actually, what it looks like, and open it up. Obviously, you can delete it. And a few other options here as well. The Move To is helpful if you've created folders. You can see I have a few here, and you want to move an item into a folder. You can add something to a starred item, rename something, download it, and so on. You can see the options here. So know that in order to see these options, you do need to click on an item in order to access those. Okay, we will get into creating these items inside of here as we move forward, but I do want to show you, I did mention it, you can upload a document to this space that you didn't create inside of Google Drive. For example, maybe you have a document that was created in Word or a PDF file or so on. I'm going to show you, those are easy to upload as well. When you choose New, I'm going to choose File Upload. And I'm going to go to my desktop here, and I have Sample Document. And I'm going to go ahead and upload it. You can see that that's happening down here at the bottom. And this has been uploaded. So let's take a look at it. Okay, this is down here at the bottom. You can see it's a docx, obviously a Word document. If I click on that now, you can see I have the same options I did before, even though I didn't create it inside of Google Drive. I can double click this and you can see I can open it, I can download it, and I can also open it with Google Docs. Doing that will allow me to edit it inside of this tool. So even something that you upload, you can open with Google Docs and be able to manipulate a little bit more with it. So this tool is very versatile in that you can create items within the tool itself, or you can bring in outside items to it. Let me give you a little context for why this is important in education. Again, remember, this isn't just about storing items, it's about collaborating, and you'll see as we move forward, you can comment on each other's pieces, you can add feedback to it. It really is a great collaborative component to a classroom. You could, let's say you are looking for a sign up for parents. You could create a document inside of here, share it to parents, and then they can actually sign up within the document itself because you could give them edit rights to it. You could have students work together on a project so they both have access to a document. One is maybe working on the intro, the other is working on the conclusion, then maybe a third person is working on one paragraph inside the document. The great thing about that is they all have one document they can be simultaneously working on without emailing back and forth a bunch of different versions of it. So the possibilities of how to use Google Drive really are endless. And you guys can start brainstorming on how you might use it in your classroom to not only create documents, but allow and support and encourage that collaboration between you and parents, student to student, students to you, and so on. So in the following tutorials, we're going to look at some of the specific tools that Google Drive has available to them. We're going to play around a little bit with that. So I will see you in the next tutorial.